Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Advertising Champions, where we get the opportunity to pick the brains of some of the most innovative thinkers in the advertising space. And joining us today is AJ Wilcox with B2Linked.com. AJ, so glad to have you on board. And Tauseef Muhammad with Visionnet. Tauseef, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Oh, so we're so excited to have this panel because we've got some really interesting things to talk about. So I'm going to tee this up with what we always start with, and I'll say, AJ, start by telling us what you do over there at B2Linked.com.
So we're an advertising agency that focuses only on LinkedIn ads. So we're hyper specialized. We've managed $150 million in ad spend on the LinkedIn network. We're official partners with LinkedIn, deep specialization. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get to that niche market in just a moment. Tauseef, share what you do over there at Visionnet.
Sure. Thank you, Charlene. Tauseef Muhammad. I'm a head of global marketing. Visionnet is a technology solution company built on premise of disruption innovation. We are 27 years old, over 8,000 visionaries across the globe. And we specialize in like data, digital cloud, and supply chain industry. So that's what we do.
All that high-tech stuff that everybody's constantly trying to catch up to understand. Well, we're very happy to have you here today. So, AJ, let's talk a little bit about you. We talked about you are specifically focused on LinkedIn ads. Can you kind of walk us back a little bit? Because LinkedIn has made some changes as of recent that they used to kind of be the, well, if you need a job or if you want to find somebody, that was kind of its purpose. But it really has evolved over the last couple of years.
Yeah, especially back in 2014. LinkedIn, before that, it was basically a job search network. I guess it was 2013. They came out with the news feed. And then the focus really became connecting and conversating with others. And that really started it. Ads came out at that time, allowing you to put ads in the news feed. And you really can use it for any business-to-business type of purpose, along with some business-to-consumer as well.
Now, it's launched this advertising platform. So talk a little bit about, when I talk to my clients, I say, imagine it's kind of become the professional space that Facebook used to be the social space. Am I kind of describing that correctly, or can you expound on that a little bit more?
Yeah, it works a lot the same as Facebook ads, where you get to choose which types of professionals you might want to target. So we can target by job title and seniority and department within a company and skills, groups. We can target by company names, sizes, the industry that someone's in. And all of these things can be combined to reach a very narrow, tight segment that you might want to go after. Facebook has the same type of thing, but it's all around consumers. We don't give our business information to Facebook. So Facebook doesn't know whether we're the CMO of this company or a marketing manager of that.
All right, so Tauseef, let's talk about your industry, and I would think to dovetail a little bit of what AJ said, you are looking for a specific industry, you are looking for specific folks who hold positions in particular companies. How are you reaching them to talk about the services that Visionnet provides?
That's interesting. Like, the aspect of advertising post-COVID has slightly changed. And that's the reason I think LinkedIn has updated their platform. It's not easy to identify, where the buying journey is. Like you mentioned, like Facebook, the persona of Facebook also changed. The C-suite, which they spend most of the time on videos on feed. So it just depends on how you identify the journey and where you need to tap into the channels. LinkedIn, of course, from a B2B perspective, is the most producing platform. But again, this is not the platform. You also need to look at what are the other areas, programmatic or remarketing or other Google ads, where you need to spend. You need to follow them at the right time, at the right moment, at the right platform, where you can see. In our industry, this is very important, because we just, our decision making is not just instant. It has a funnel process. It requires some time and some constant touch points.
Well, Tauseef, I was going to ask you, share the buying journey of your consumer.
So it's our industry, because it's a buying process is lengthy. The ticket sizes are bigger. So you look at from the top of the funnel where the intention start, and how you can check the behavior you're bringing into the funnel, and then from there how you can touch on different content like case studies, white papers, and stuff inviting them for the webinars. So journey depends on if we are touching like major solution or major transformation, or some like products and offerings that we have. So sometimes it takes 3 to 6 months, and it's not just a buying committee that we are reaching out, the steers to buying committee, the influencers to the buying committee, the people who are doing the research. So each area has like its own persona that we touch upon, and this is where we also have like need to identify and capabilities. I don't see like in a market like which has like a very targeted capabilities that you can identify who is your ideal customer, who is the influencer to them, who is like steers to them, and who is like doing the research. So that's like a journey. It's not easy. It's not like a playbook or like a Bible that we have, but it's case to case, campaigns to campaign that we look into it.
I think, Tauseef, what you really bring up and underscore the point is so many businesses are trying to navigate digital advertising today, the platforms, the influencers, the messaging, the brand strategy. And these are folks who, for the most part, are trying to run a business. And so I think there's been a very slow acceptance of, I've just got to hire somebody who knows how to do this specifically. Because I think back in the day, you could figure out how to do some organic posts on Facebook and maybe some Instagram, but it's really changed. AJ, can you talk a little bit about what some of the challenges are that you're facing? Okay, it's LinkedIn is now kind of come into itself. Okay, as it does, there are always those challenges that it faces. So whether it's industry specific within LinkedIn's challenges, or folks, the consumer, now trying to utilize this advertising platform, maybe what some of their challenges are. You can pick whichever one or both.
Well, I want to go the way that Tauseef actually was talking about, because the biggest challenge that we see is the majority of our clients are in business to business. And the business to business buyer journey, like Tauseef mentioned, is really complex. You can't just say like, oh, we brought them in with LinkedIn, we retargeted them on Facebook and Google, we sent them an email, and then we got a demo request and they bought. If you look at user journeys, it's never that simple. And so I think a lot of it is doing what Tauseef talked about, not only just reaching your end user, but also reaching the entire buying committee to help kind of lubricate that deal as it comes through. Not just resting on one channel. Sounds a little rich coming from an agency that only manages one channel, but making sure that LinkedIn is one of the channels involved in the entire process of driving leads. You can't just run only LinkedIn and expect to be ultra successful, just like you couldn't only run Google and expect it to be all successful.
That's a great answer. And Tauseef, what about you? What are some of the challenges? And obviously the challenges are conversion, right? That's what we're talking at the end of the day. We're talking about feeding the pipeline, but at the end of the day, the big challenge is how do you get them to convert?
That you're waiting for people to raise their hand in a B2B space. It's actually, you need to tap into their intent and tap into the right moment. And this is where, like, the data intelligence comes in the picture, that all those companies talking about Bamboo or Clearbit or LinkedIn, that they have this intent targeting. And I think that matters. We don't collect the database to target the people, rather going after their intent, because we know if we know their intent, we can tap into them and at the right moment. I don't think so. Any B2B companies, if they are looking to we're gonna just wait, if they're gonna request a demo or anything, they're gonna fill out the form, they're gonna fail. You need to know their intent, and you already know they already raised their hand. You just need to hold their hand. I think that's where I see the success. And if we do follow that journey, I think that's the success gonna come in a lead generation or generate the pipelines.
And I'm going to ask the question that really everybody wants to know. And every potential client or client asks, what kind of budget do I need to get them to raise their hand and then sign on that dotted line, or at least to be able to compete today? There's so much noise out there. There's so much competition. So AJ, do you want to start? I mean, since you're LinkedIn specific, we all know at the end of the day, we're doing all this to generate revenue, to build our client base, and to get some brand visibility. What's the kind of budget I'm going to need to do that?
Yeah, money definitely talks. What we've found is, on average, when our clients they've built an efficient funnel and sales process and they're working through it, on average, they're going to spend somewhere between $1,000 to $7,000 in ad spend in order to close a deal. So what we tell people is whatever budget you have to bring to the table on a monthly basis, great, bring it. But the more you bring, the faster you're going to generate data and the faster you're going to learn and try to find where it becomes it.
And AJ, are you targeting a 1 month? That's a 1 month spend?
It's more of if you took a level of spend, let's say you were spending $5,000 a month, over the course of 3 months, let's say your sales cycle is 3 months and you start to see deals coming in, you'd look at, oh, we spent about $15,000 on ads here. And we probably, once the sales cycle has kind of caught up, you're probably going to be closing, 2, 3, 4 deals.
Okay. And then let's remind folks that's the ad spend, not management fee. Not the fee for AJ. So yes. And then Tauseef, we're very tight on time, but I wanted to be able to afford you the opportunity to respond to that question as well.
I like, again, this is a decent amount of spend, but as we say, we have multiple stream data, digital cloud and different products. So our spend is a little bit more higher because of different areas. But one thing that I just wanted to point here, the LinkedIn or any other ad platform, it's more like a stock exchange. You need to constantly monitor. And if the agencies or your in-house help, if they're gonna just leave the campaign and just sleep on it, you're gonna lose a lot of money. So you need to monitor daily basis, hourly basis, what's going on, how's the behavior, and that's when you can effectively and impactfully spend all this money and produce the better outcome, or you say the KPIs, you can meet those KPIs.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been a great conversation. I really appreciate you taking the time. AJ Wilcox with B2Linked.com, Tauseef Muhammad with Visionnet. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us today on Advertising Champions.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Wasn't that a great conversation, folks? So if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing at their respective organizations, you can start by checking them out on dailyadbrief.com. I'm Charlene Shirk, your host today of Advertising Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.